Mr. Raphael, what page is that so I can follow?
All right, I'm now on page 12 of your Parkland medical records.
Got it.
I want to just confirm here because it says that you say you're upset because the security cop didn't have to do that. Who are you referring to?
Obregon, the female,
What did she do?
pepper sprayed us.
And did you hit your head also that evening? I mean, we've talked about it, but
Yes,
it does say here that you broke your pelvis the previous year. I want to talk about that. What happened the year before?
the year before, we had gone out and I had a headache. So we left early and my husband was hungry. We picked up some tacos and he had put them on my lap.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but when you say a year before what? The incident that we're here for?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we. You said we went out. Who's the other person you were with?
Me and my husband, my ex-husband. We had gone out.
Good.
I'm sorry. We had gone out and I didn't feel well. So we had left and he was hungry. So he wanted something to eat. And we had stopped by a taco shop, picked up some tacos, and he gave them to me. So he put them on my lap. And I just told him that, my head was hurting. So he cracked open the window. And I told him that I felt like throwing up. So I told him to pull over. So I didn't make it to, somewhere where I can actually vomit. So I told him to pull over. We pulled over. He exited. And of course, like I said, I didn't make it to, a facility or a place where I can throw up. So it was on the side of a road. So we didn't get a pull over to a parking lot or nothing. It was the side of the road. So I opened the door and I unbuckled myself. Weren't at a complete stop. So the truck was still, going. So I unbuckled myself and I actually wasn't able to hold on to the door completely. So the door, it swung open. Me trying to hold on, I lost my balance. And I fell out of the truck. And that's what happened. I fell out of the truck and I basically fell out. And that's where my injuries happened.
So you got injured a year before. What were those injuries?
It was my head. I injured my head and my pelvis.
And so you had to go to the hospital, I'm assuming, for those injuries?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you recover from those injuries?
Yes.
But you still had some pain, I'm assuming, from them.
I had some pain.
And so you broke your pelvis, you said, and then you had a head injury.
Yes, sir.
But did your injuries from this attack, did it make it worse? How did this affect those injuries from a year prior?
Oh, yes.
Your Honor, I would object to that. Plaintiff has not pled exacerbation or what's the other word?
Aggravation.
Or aggravation of pre-existing condition. So I would object to any line of questioning that tries to establish that, and I don't want to do a trial by consent. There's been no allegation of exasperation or re-aggravation.
Well, eggshell skull roll, Your Honor. We can ask for judicial notice of that at this point if she's testifying to that, and she's testified it to before. Mr. Payne was fully aware of these issues as he's deposed her about it prior.
But that's something that he needs to, he asked the court to strike my affirmative defense of pre-existing condition because he says they're not related. So now he's trying to raise the exasperation and the re-aggravation, which he has never pled.
Your Honor, Mr. Payne is he's nitpicking on every little detail to find ways, and then he doesn't give me the exhibit list and then complains that I served it to him too late. He's going to nitpick at everything. Can we just have this trial, Your Honor, so we can move it forward?
It is my job to object to evidence that I don't think is proper, that has not been pled, and I don't want to be guilty of trial by consent.
I'll note it. What is pled on this issue?
Nothing. There's
No,
not
she's
even,
injured. I mean, she injured her head, she injured her pelvis.
it's not even pled.
Why don't we do this? I'm going to let in the evidence at the time of the final argument. We can have go ahead and provide me a trial brief just on this issue of aggravation. Does it need to be pled? All that kind of stuff. So if you can't do a trial brief, at least give me some case law.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. All right, if I can continue with this. I'm going to show one more record here. You're Ms. Martinez from Parkland. This is page 14, also taken at 8/19/17 at 3:67 a.m. It does give a narrative saying about being that you had an argument with an employee, which led to being slammed down by the security guards. Did you state to them you think you hit your back of your head? Is that correct?
Yes.
Now here's, in that note, it says here, patient does not appear to be intoxicated. Were you intoxicated at the time?
No.
Were you given a blood alcohol test at the time?
No.
So in anywhere in these records, you don't recall ever getting an intoxication or blood alcohol test at the hospital, correct?
Right.
Did the police give you a intoxication or blood alcohol test?
No.
I think the term is a sobriety test, correct?
Right.
Did they give you a sobriety test?
No.
So you were released from the hospital that evening, or the next day on August 19th, 2017, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you seek treatment afterwards for these injuries?
Yes.
What type of treatment did you seek?
Neurologist, orthopedist, and my primary.
And who sent you to the neurologist?
I did. I just needed, treatment for my head.
No, what I mean is who sent it? Like, was it your which doctor?
Oh, my primary.
And who was your primary care physician?
It was Dr. Mint.
Dr. Mint?
Yes.
So they said, did the Dr. Mint also send you to an orthopedic surgeon?
Yes.
Who did Dr. Mint send you to?
Dr. Sue. Is that her last name? Kanchandi. It was a group with Dr. Khan. Texas Orthopedics.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to present Plaintiff's Exhibit 20. This is records from the orthopedic surgery and sports medicine. This is the Texas Institute of Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, page 3 from the records. This is you, Elizabeth Martinez, is that correct?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the group of doctors I was talking about. I'm sorry.
We're seeing there on August 24th, 2017, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in the record here, it states she was assaulted by a police officer. Is this the security guard? Did you think he was a police officer at the time?
Yes, sir.
What made you think that he was a police officer?
Because he had a badge and it looked somewhat like a gun on him.
Okay. So this was taken. So again, you went to the doctor a week later.
Yes.
And I've highlighted some sections here. It says here your pelvis is tender over the sacrum. Is the sacrum, is that a bone in your pelvis?
Objection leading, Your Honor.
Yes.
Now you worked at the time you were working at a doctor's office, correct?
Yes.
What doctor's office were you working at?
Orthopedist.
Okay. So this orthopedic, was this the same orthopedist that you were working for?
Yes.
Okay. the same office, correct?
Yes.
So they checked your pelvis. Did they check your right shoulder?
I don't recall. I believe they did. Yes.
Okay. And well, it says here that there was a tenderness to palpitation over I'm not a doctor. I don't know what tuberosity is, but also that there was a bruise there. Do you recall having bruising on your right shoulder 7 days later?
Yes. Yes.
Same. Do you recall having bruising on your left arm?
Yes.
Now, did you have to do a follow-up?
Yes.
I forgot one more part of this. Okay, here in Plaintiff's Exhibit 20, it says,
Mr. Rafael,
Did
can
they
you
think-
get a full page so I can see it better? It's kind of small.
page 4 of Texas Institute of Orthopedic Surgery,
Okay.
medical records. They did an AP of your pelvis. Is that correct? They did some scans.
Yes.
They think that you might have had a possible fracture on your pelvis.
Yes.
So it says here in the impressions that you did have neck pain also when you went to the doctor.
Yes.
Lastly, and they checked your shoulder. What did you think was wrong with your shoulder when you went to the doctor?
I wasn't sure then. I remember I had just a lot of pain where he grabbed me and dragged me out there. I mean, where I was slammed.
So here the doctor thinks that you might have had a potential rotator cuff tear or labral pathology. Do you recall the doctor ever telling you something like that?
I just don't recall. I mean, just with my memory, I mean, I don't recall a whole lot of things.
Okay. So you said Dr. Mayan sent you also to an orthopedist. So she also sent, is it Dr. Mayan a man or a woman?
A woman.
Did she send you also, you said, to see a neurologist?
Yes. She
Why did she-
recommended Sarah, but yes. Yes.
Why did she send you to see a neurologist?
Because of my head, my memory and everything that's going on.
So if Your Honor, I may present Plaintiff's Exhibit 22, which is the medical records and billing records from Deborah T. Combs Cantrell. So it says you presented to her because of your headaches and memory loss. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you told her when you went that it was due to being assaulted by a security officer.
Correct.
Can you read this on the screen, or is it difficult to read?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Okay.
If I may read it, Your Honor, just for the record, so we can. It says here, you report that she thought the security officer was taken outside to talk with her to get her to the story, but she said, grabbed her left bicep, placed her in a chokehold, slammed her down on the concrete, hitting the back of her head. She did have a loss of conscious. Is that this? You told her this? I'm sorry. Let me just confirm the date. On August 31st, 2017. Do you recall telling Dr. Cantrell this?
Yes.
Okay. And so you also testified earlier that you got headaches. Were these headaches daily after this injury, after the attack?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What kind of pain? Can you describe the pain that these headaches caused you?
Oh, I mean, they were horrible. I mean, I was crying daily with them. She put me on medications, or she had to increase the dosage on my meds for that. And they never went away.
Can you describe the pain for us?
It's a throbbing pain. It's where my vision goes completely blurred. I see the white spots. I mean, it's horrible. It's daily. I don't wish it on nobody.
Sorry, Ms. Martinez. Did it cause also, I mean, were you unable to function because of these headaches?
It affected my job, yes.
What happened at your job?
I mean, it's where I would be calling in at work because I couldn't function. I couldn't focus. I mean, it's affected my job completely. I mean, it's affected my job, period, including my memory loss.
And how does the memory loss and headaches, has it affected your lifestyle?
I just can't function. I can't function at work.
Does it affect your ability to have a normal relationship with your family?
Yes, it has a lot, especially with my children, my grandchildren. My everyday life, it affects me.
Do you mind elaborating, telling us more about that?
Just everyday life. I mean, just trying to go on with my life every day. I mean, just a lot of things I can't do. I mean, I'm trying to do one thing, and there's tasks of everyday life at work I can't even complete. I mean, just even going to the store, doing my regular shopping, grocery shopping. I mean, it's just, I can't even finish a whole day's work in one day. I mean, 'cause I can't remember what I'm doing.
Well, are you working at the moment?
No,
But at the time of this incident, you were working, correct?
I was
Where were you working?
at a doctor's office.
Do you remember the name of the office?
It was the last job there. It was at the orthopedist, so it was Texas Institute of Orthopedic Surgery.
And how long were you working there prior to this incident?
I think it's like 18 months.
And so this injury, did it affect you, as you testified, it affected your work, right?
Yes, it did.
And how much longer were you working there after this injury?
Not much, because I just couldn't remember a lot of my duties and stuff there. I mean, it affected me a lot, tremendously.
Did they say something to you about your performance afterwards?
They were constantly on me, yes.
Why were they on you?
Because I couldn't remember all my duties anymore. My
Share.
headaches were daily.
Okay, let me show you page. Let me show you a page from the same record from your neurologist. It says on your neurological examination that you had decreased concentration, attention, processing speed. This is from the doctor. Is that correct? Were all these different things decreased after this?
Mr. Rafael, would you mind making it bigger
Yes.
so I can see what page you're on?
I'm on page 2. Here at the top, you can see page 2.
But
Of the Cantrell Medical Records Neurologist. I'm on the same exhibit 22 same exhibit that I was on previously.
yes, sir.
Now, did the doctor confirm with you that you actually were diagnosed with these issues and these problems?
Yes,
Did she treat you for that?
yes.
And what kind of treatment? I mean, how do you get better from these injuries?
From the taste and the smell, there's nothing you can do for them.
Has it returned?
No.
I didn't mean to close that screen. I'm sorry. It's the same page. So were you diagnosed with a concussion and loss of consciousness by Dr. Cantrell?
Was I what? I'm sorry.
Can you read the screen here? This is still page 2 of Dr. Cantrell's records.
Uh-huh.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Were you diagnosed with a concussion and loss of consciousness by the doctor?
Diagnosed.
Well, let me just then I can read it, and this is a Zoom trial, so it's difficult, but says you have a post-concussive syndrome and a concussion loss of consciousness. Is that correct?
As per the dates of
Yes,
Mr. Rafael, are you still on the 8/31/2017 document?
Yes. Same exhibit, exhibit 22.
All right.
And then I can show you the date here. Yeah, 8/31, page 2.
Thank you.
yes,
And you were screened for traumatic brain injury. Is that correct?
yes,
Did the doctor order a 72-hour EEG?
yes,
Did she also, and I'm looking, this is now page 3 of those same medical records. Did she say that you might have had second impact syndrome?
Can you?
Are you okay, Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
yes.
Your Honor, can you direct me to that because I didn't see where that is?
I'm on, again, page 3 of exhibit 22, Dr. Cantrell's medical records,
What item number?
line J.
J.
Then on line 2, it says here that you had a new onset of hand jerking. Is that right?
Yes,
So your hand started jerking after this incident.
yes,
Did you also lose your memory because of this?
yes,
Were you diagnosed with a post-traumatic dementia?
yes.
It says also here, a behavior cognitive dysfunction. Can you tell us what did the doctor discuss with regards to a cognitive dysfunctioning? What is that?
I don't recall the exact things. I mean, I can't remember.
That's all right. And so you were diagnosed with a post-traumatic loss of taste and anosmia,
Yes,
which I believe, okay.
Objection, Judge, that it does not say diagnosed. Mischaracterizing the evidence.
This is impression and plan. So the doctor had the impression that you had post-traumatic loss of taste and anosmia, correct?
right, yes,
And then let me go further in these. Now this was not your first visit to Dr. Or this was not to be your only visit. You actually returned to Dr. Cantrell a few more times, correct?
yes, correct.
And these things that I'm reading, I mean, did Dr. Cantrell, she did a full-on examination of you? Is that right?
Yes,
So she sent you for a 72-hour EEG. Did she do any other tests, do you recall?
don't recall.
Did she perform MRIs on you? Is that a yes or no? I'm sorry.
I don't recall, honestly.
So you returned to Dr. Cantrell, I believe, on October 10th, 2017, if you recall.
In October, yes,
Okay. And this is also same exhibit, Mr. Pema, and to the court, page 6 from the October 10th visit. And so when you would go there, would she just run tests on you every time you went?
basically, yes,
And then would she go over her conclusions or impressions of what she found?
everything, yes, sir.
Did she give you warnings or sort of guidance on what not to do or how to take care of yourself?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, that was a kind of a broad question. What do you mean? What would she tell you?
She would do a little bit of everything. She'd go over everything and recommendations and what to do and what not to do.
And so she still, from these records, would still say that you had a concussion of loss of consciousness, correct?
Right, yes,
And she also treated you for spells or alterations of awareness.
yes.
Did she admit you to the epilepsy monitoring unit?
Did she admit me? Yes, she did.
And what's the epilepsy monitoring unit do?
It would register me for my epilepsy that I was having there.
Okay. Same with the post-traumatic dementia.
Yes,
Did you also suffer from vertigo after this?
I still suffer from it. Yes.
And what is vertigo?
It's where you constantly have like a dizzy spell. You basically walk like you're intoxicated all the time. Your head is like constantly just spinning.
And
You're
also,
you're totally unbalanced.
and so here in October, about 2 months after the incident, you still had loss of taste and anosmia, correct?
Right.
And as you testified earlier, it still hasn't fully returned, or has it returned?
No, it has not returned.
And where did you perform the 72-hour EEG? Do you recall?
In Flower Mound at Presby.
Your Honor, that is the one record. I'd like to bring that up because that is the one record that is still up in the air, that was not pre-admitted, was the EEG that was ordered from Dr. Cantrell.
You'll need to ask her, is that related to the accident?
Ms. Martinez, was your EEG at Flower Mound, was that related to the injury suffered from the incident that brings us here today? Let me clarify. I'm sorry. Your EEG at Flower Mound, Texas Health Flower Mound.
Okay, wait. Let me just say something real quick, Mr. Pema. I don't know what's going on with your sound, but you say things and I can't ever hear them. If you're going to object, sometimes it's hard to tell who's speaking. If you're going to object, say objection, so I can know that it's you, and same thing with the other side, because a lot of times you're talking and I just can't hear you.
I'll raise my hand first so the court gets a visual that I'm trying to object.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm objecting. I'm saying the witness was about to answer a question, the first question.
Yeah, I mean, there was a question on the table. Can you answer that, Ms. Martinez?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Can we have the court reporter read it back, Your Honor, if possible?
Yeah, if you can, Tony.
The question was, Ms. Martinez, was your EEG related to the injury suffered from the incident that brings us here today? And she didn't answer, and then he said, let me clarify. And then you all started talking.
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to admit.
Exhibit 25, are you offering Exhibit 25?
Yes, Your Honor.
25 is admitted. All right, this is probably a good stopping place for now. We'll go ahead and take a lunch break and we'll reconvene at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May we leave now?
Yeah, you can leave and I'll let you back in. Just leave the room entirely. I'm going to close it and we'll reconvene at 1 o'clock.